there, sorry for my short little break. I haven't been very well. I'm still not all that well. If you missed any of my updates on social media, which is basically just me complaining all the time, I have teeth issues. Not because I'm British. I have a wisdom tooth. I wrote a song about wisdom teeth 7 years ago about how they were coming through. 7 years later, 2019, boom, now they're over-erupting like a fucking volcano. I have an appointment for surgery on Wednesday where I get one tooth taken out because that tooth has caused an ulcer, so I've been just taking tons of cocodamol. I'm on probiotics, antibiotics, painkillers, everything. But that's okay because it hasn't made me cranky at all. So if there isn't a video next week, it's because I'm probably not going to be able to talk. Anyway, wish me luck, or don't, really, or just hope it goes shit with the birth of a new supervillain. It's like Toothy. Toothy? It's like Goofy, but like worse? I don't know. I was thinking more along the lines of like fucking Bane or the Joker, but nope. Toothy. Toothy is where we got to. So I want to start off this video, which is about change, by telling you a little story. It's not really a story at all. Just something that happened to me last week. And by happened, I mean nothing really happened. I was in town with my family and I walked past our local cash converters. What do you guys call them outside the UK? By the way, the shops where you go and sell your old CDs and video games and consoles for like $1, and then you go back next week and they're swapping them for like a fucking mansion or something. So we have like Cashmart, cash converters, CEX. What do you call it in your country? Let me know. So I was walking past cash converters and in the window they had the fucking holy grail. They had an official Goldeneye Nintendo 64 complete with game and controller and fucking boxed as well. That is like the white whale of my childhood anyway. And it was 95 buckaroos, I think. Do you have any idea how tempted I was to just dunk 95 quid and just hold this box of dreams like I'm fucking 6 again? I kept just staring through the window for like 20 minutes like some kid outside a sweet shop or something, just like peering in, trying to beg my parents to like let me go in, even though you can't go in, little Sally, because life's not fair. And because, and here is the kicker for you today, little Sally. Little Sally needs to address change. 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 The other C word that no one likes. I'm gonna get a lot of people mad at me in the comments of this because I know that you guys are all professional gaming experts and you like playing fucking Tetris at 200 FPS. So I'm just gonna preface this little video essay, by just saying this. It's okay to desire things from your childhood if the sole purpose of having that said thing from your childhood is for shits and giggles, not just nostalgia. Will this thing bring you 10 minutes of joy? Cool. Are you trying to use the past as a shield to stop yourself living in the present and planning for your own future? Not cool. No. No? I'm pretty happy with that, actually. No. Word of the day. I really wanted that Nintendo 64 GoldenEye edition complete with a controller, video game, and box, and I walked away from it. I do still think about it every single day. What time's it shut? But why do I want it? Why do I want a video game console from 1997 that I used to make my dad play for me whilst I hid behind the sofa whenever there was a Wallmaster in the Forest Temple, because fuck that noise. You can bet I still shit my pants every single time that that shadow appears above Link's head. Yes, sorry. Fuck that. I shit my pants. I shit my pants good. That fucking noise, that... Sorry. I might have to make another video about fucking video game fears that have scarred me for life. No. Fuck that noise. So here's the truth. Truth hurts. Life hurts. Older video games need more than just our nostalgic view of them in order for us to call them better. Now, some games, they had a little bit more playability than some modern games. Absolutely agreed. But if I were to buy that GoldenEye Nintendo 64 and then went on to buy all of the video games that I loved for it, such as Zelda, Sad Zelda, Snowboard Kids 2, they were the greatest. Diddy Kong Racing, which was better than Mario Kart because apparently I'm still trying to piss you all off. It absolutely fucking was, though. No word of a lie. You ever had to race a dinosaur off a mountain? Diddy Kong Racing. You've had to try and beat a walrus down some sort of massive ski slope? Diddy Kong Racing. You've been able to choose between a car, a plane, and a fucking hovercraft? On any level you wanted? Diddy Kong Racing. The Mario game I never finished. I don't know anyone that actually finished it, if I'm honest. All the kids like twiddling their mustaches like, I got 120 stars. Fuck off, no you fucking didn't. You got to that lava stage like everyone else and went, fuck that, I'm now 10, I'm out of here. And then also not forgetting my main boys, Banjo and Conker. That's a lot of money. It's a shit ton of money to spend, and what would I do once I'd spent all that money? Well, I'd go home, try and figure out how to connect this Nintendo 64 to any TV made after 1991. I'd hear that sweet little jingle that we all love. Welcome to Mario Kart. And then I'd remember, I'm not a kid anymore. And this game won't make me a kid anymore. The graphics stink. They absolutely stink. Now, I'm not a massive elitist when it comes to like, what was I saying? Graphics. But when you take a game that's made for a screen this size, and then you try and stretch it out to fit a screen this size, it's not gonna work, Chief. Oh, well, they don't make games like they used to, and that's a good thing. Shut the fuck up, it's actually a good thing. Seeing as I'm still annoying everyone today, oh, the thumbs down. You may think it's a bad thing. That's completely your opinion. Here's really where this whole silly sort of Nintendo 64 metaphor was going. Just because something has changed over the years, like the Mario franchise or your favorite TV show, like isn't Doctor Who a woman now? Ew, that's bullshit. Women can't be doctors. They're too stupid. Nurse Who? Really proud of that when I wrote it, sorry. It doesn't mean you have to like the changes. I'm not making this video saying, accept the future, but not accepting change in a way that you get angry and request other people to make things that they used to make just primarily for you is pig-headed, and it's selfish, and it's actually a really, really immature trait. Also, go tidy your room, dinner will be ready in about 10 minutes. I was talking to my friend Justine about this, and by talking, I mean I replied to her tweet. That's how people talk now. Welcome to the new age, to the new age, welcome to the new age. Was that a song, or did I just make that up? Welcome to the new, is that a song? Oof, I've accessed a part of my brain that I didn't know existed. I found like an old junk folder in my PC. Oh. So I was talking to her about how this attitude of like requesting that people make the same content again and again and again, I was talking to her about how it affects creators, which, you know, it does. And of course, I'm making this all about me. You not figured it out yet? That's what I do. I'm no stranger to actually talking about this, and that's probably because I'm definitely not a stranger to changing all the fucking time. Now, like some people, like creators or even like TV shows, video game franchises, they may look like they've remained pretty consistent throughout the years, but I promise you, they absolutely have not. Chum. They have just maybe mastered the art of growing alongside you gracefully. You know, they've aged gracefully and you haven't really noticed. They're just like holding your hand ever so gently as you traverse the lands of time. But I guarantee if you were to go and look at those mediums and then go back to like the first ever episode or the first ever like video game release of it or the first like YouTube video from them, like you would be absolutely astonished at what has actually changed. Because nobody, no person or entity is capable of staying the same, especially over a long period of time, including yourself. Change! So I started making videos properly in 2012. I was 20, I was a waitress, I was a dumbass. I saw other people making comedy vlogs and reading books on YouTube, and I thought, hey, that'll be a good little hobby to have while I waitress forever. I didn't come into this with any sort of game plan. I didn't have any sort of end goal. And sometimes I really have asked myself, like, am I actually cut out for this? Because, you know, I'm not the most driven YouTuber, I'm not the most creative YouTuber, I'm certainly not the most original YouTuber. It's been 7 years now since I first uploaded, and I've never really found the thing that I think a lot of creators feel pressure to find or like fit in with. But I bet if you were to scroll all the way down on your Facebook, yeah, because we all had it, all the way down to like 2011, 2012, you would find statuses from your previous self who is completely different to who you are now. You were probably still writing statuses like, name is making a sandwich. Huh? We all change and grow. Change is all around us. It affects you, it affects me, it affects every entity. But it is so easy to notice and complain about change when it comes to media, because in this day and age, everything is public and everything is accessible. Everything is documented, and you can go back as far as you like and access that past content in the present. And in doing so, that past content becomes content in your present. I hope I'm making sense. It makes total sense to me anyway. That doesn't really say a lot though. Like, if you want to watch me back in 2013 when I was a dumb shit, back when a lot of you first found me, cool. Like, within 3 clicks, you can do that right now. Do you want to go back to your mindset and how you were back in 2013? Whoops, that is a little bit harder. You can't just wake up and become who you were in 2013. You can watch things from 2013, but you can't become who you were. Now again, just to reiterate, because I know I'm coming across as like the grumpiest, ranty old lady ever, you don't have to like every single change that happens, whether it's one that I make or one that Nintendo makes. But when you take that extra step to complain about something new in comparison to how it was before, I would urge you to take a step back before you do that thing and just ask yourself a couple of questions. Isn't change completely okay? Isn't it part of life? Would you actually, if approached, want the same content from the same people over and over again, but just slightly repackaged? Would you play the same game if it was released every single year in a different box with a slightly different name, but it was the exact same content and always cost you $60? No, you absolutely fucking would not. And if you agree and you don't want to watch that same content over and over, or pay for that content over and over but just repackaged, then why would you bother berating people or companies that are trying to stop that happening to you? Is it because life was simpler when the biggest bane in your life was the water temple in Zelda, which, by the way, wasn't all that hard? I'm still pissing you off. Forest temple was way harder. Always lost in that shit. Water temple, 20 minutes, done. Dark Link, pussy. Anyway, is there a part of you that thinks if I went back to making comedy vlogs in my dad's house like I did in 2012, do you really think that you'd actually want that? Do you really think that they would be just as funny now? Or do you think that maybe you could just pretend that the real world isn't actually happening around you in the present? I'm not saying any of this to attack you. I know that it sounds like I'm dismissing nostalgia completely, and I'm not. I'm saying all this because I get it, because I've also done this. I know that I'm coming across like a fucking bitch right now. I'm basically saying, you can't enjoy Crash Bandicoot. You totally can. But you have to just have this sort of awareness of why you want those things from your past. Is there something in your past that you hold so dearly that you'd rather be there than in the present day? If that's the case, I'm not a therapist, but you might want to try and sort out what's going on in your present day, if you can. If you are, great. Go and play Crash Bandicoot. The things you loved then cannot come back in the same capacity as they were when you first experienced them, like 20 years ago. Because, and I'm gonna end the video on this note because I think it's a little bit of a bombshell, those things have grown and changed with the years, and so have you. And that's a great, marvelous, wonderful thing. But just try and keep being aware of the context that the world is constantly growing and moving and shaping around you. And the next time you reach for that old vintage video game for a little touch of nostalgia, maybe just ask yourself what you're really after and why. Anyway, that's the end of Emma is a bitch for this week. I've been considering reopening my Patreon. I have some ideas for some exclusive content. I'm thinking of reintroducing like the album club videos, some like monthly sort of short video updates of what I've been up to, and also releasing some demos, like unreleased demos, studio mixes of stuff that never got released, maybe some like instrumentals of stuff like once every month or so. That's not in action yet, but I'd like to gauge your reaction to that news, see if you like it, because, you know, Mama needs dollar. Waitressing was not good for me or anyone that I served. And if I'm not back next week, like I said, it's probably because my mouth has been, you know, ripped to pieces. And until next time, guys, I shall catch you later. What time does cash convert? Shit.